Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Dark Souls. Today we're going to be tackling the depths beneath the lower Undead Burg. But before we do that, I believe that a group of clerics have joined us here in the Firelink Shrine. So let's go check it out. Just head on over here to where, okay. There are supposed to be some clerics here.
Oh, you again? Me? I've become separated from my lady. I've scoured near and far, but no sight of her. Where could she have gone? My lady, to think I swore to protect you with my life. Your Highness, where have you gone? I am entirely to blame for this. Oh, woe is me. I am unworthy, deathly so. Oh, I'm sorry. Miracles, was it? Sometimes I lose myself. Pay me no mind.
So I'm not really sure what happened here. On my last game, I saw them, and I didn't go over and talk to them while I was doing some grinding, and I thought we'll just go talk to them the next time we start recording. And now they're not there. I didn't progress in the game or anything, so I'm not really sure what happened there. But basically, we would have met Rhea of Thorlin, who was on a quest of some kind. Anyway, onward to the depths. I actually really like the depths level, even though it's kind of weird and convoluted, and it is definitely labyrinthian in structure. But it's kind of a fun area to explore, and it's the first real departure from the sort of standard castle areas if you're actually playing the game in order. And you'll notice that there's a dude just sort of hanging out here, but I wouldn't worry about it. He's totally cool. He's not going to do anything to us. He just likes to hang out. Now this particular area has a few dangerous parts to it, those boxes not being one of them. Mainly in that it introduces poison and curse mechanics in the game, which can be extremely debilitating to an inexperienced or non-prepared player. I wouldn't say that this is where the real Dark Souls begins, but this is where the game kind of stops holding your hand, I think. Not that it's really been holding your hand in the past. Check this guy out. He's just chopping up some sort of questionably large meat slab. Oh god. I didn't mean to disturb you, sir. I was just let me take care of this table for you. I'm a horrible waiter. So yeah, he's actually supposed to aggro and then come up here, but now he's not showing up, which is really starting to worry me, because that means he's just hanging out somewhere. Well, F it. Let's go find him. There you are. Come on. Let's hang out. I'll show you how I rearranged your seating area up here. Oh. He doesn't seem to like it. The Butcher is kind of a tank. He has a lot of hit points. He hits pretty dang hard, but he is very slow and somewhat predictable. If you're at all quick, you can just simply run circles around him and use your superior mobility to your advantage. Of course, all the furniture up here actually poses a problem, but he seems to be taking care of it for me so that I have more room to maneuver. Let's see how he likes my lightning spear. Yeah. Oh, man. It's also down here that I start to notice that I can't just be carried by lightning spear in my Astora straight sword. That they're actually slowly but surely being left behind as the monsters get more powerful. Let's take care of his other dog friend here, and then, oh, man, he's gonna be pissed. I just knocked his whole table over. And here we find our first ember. Now, the embers are scattered throughout the game, and what they do is basically allow you to kind of upgrade your blacksmith, as it were. Basically, as you find embers, they enable him to make more different types of weapons. The large ember allows you to simply make weapons beyond +5. So now you can actually upgrade weapons as high as +10. And there's a little hole back here, but we're going to be ignoring it for right now. It's really fun fighting fast, sort of nimble monsters in waist-deep water where you're super slow. And now that we're done with our bath, let's continue exploring the depths. And here's our friend, just kind of hanging out. I'm guessing he's going to come down here when I go under here and... Oh, nope, I guess not. Okay, see you then.
You. Yes, you. Here, over here. Please, you must help me. Oh, there you are. You must help me. Or else she'll have me for lunch. You're my only hope. Oh, please. Thank you. I would have been at supper without you. Been eaten alive. I shudder to think. Thank you. Thank you dearly. I am Laurentius, of the Great Swamp. I will not forget my debt to you. Oh, hello there. I'm fine, thanks to you.
Now, when you free Laurentis the Great Swamp, make sure that you roll into the barrel that he's contained in, not attacking it. If you attack it, you'll actually hit him, and he'll become hostile. And you'll have to go to the Cleric of Vecna in order to request absolution before you can actually buy from him. Yeah, this guy's still just kind of hanging out up there, so I guess we'll just whatevs. Or now he attacked. If you're going for pyromancy, it's not until this point when you free Laurentis that you're actually able to really get into your build. He's the first pyromancy vendor you can find in the game and sells a few of the really important spells that you'll need to get through the next few areas. So you definitely want to get him free as quickly as possible. He also allows you to upgrade your pyromancy hand, which makes your pyromancy spells more powerful. And hey, we got a bag to wear over our head, so, you know, there's that. Now you gotta be really careful down here because there's actually kind of a trap. You can see there's a slime kind of dribbling from the top there, and what you don't want to do is go pick up that item because the slime will drop right on you, and what am I doing? Oh, I'm showing you what happens. That's what it was. Right. Slimes are dicks. They don't take very much melee damage. They don't exactly hit for a lot, but they're slow, plodding, methodical, and annoying. So you just gotta kind of hammer through them. Actually did my best to make that the worst possible situation that could happen, which was that slime and the torch-wielding undead trapping me in a corner. Just showing you what not to do. Yep. Anyway, the slimes aren't that bad. I'm not sure why I'm being so careful with them at this point. You just need to basically power through and stab them as much as possible. They can hit you for quite a lot, so do be careful. And the prize for all that tomfoolery? Fucking Dark Souls. Well then, let's carry on, shall we? It's kind of hard to see, but this hallway, the ceiling is absolutely covered in slimes. And honestly, I don't want to deal with it. We'll be coming back that way later on in the level, so don't worry about it, you're not missing anything. It's kind of not the best way to go anyway. So now we're going to head back to the butcher's slab and check out that hole that we found behind his butchering table. Oh boy. That giant rat must be the she that Laurentis was talking about, who he was going to be fed to. Gross. Now before we go make friends with that gigantic rat, let's see what we got over here. Ah, the spider shield. This shield is awesomely important for later areas in the game. It basically allows you to block poison attacks, as well as boosting your poison resistance. This can be pretty handy. That said, let's go ahead and cheese this encounter with some lightning bolts. Now the giant rat, I guess the giant rat, is actually a mini-boss, so that will not be respawning in future playthroughs. Now, the sewer chamber key is actually really important. It's the way that we went. And just keep this sort of caged-in area in mind. We'll be coming back later. Kind of a neat level because it's very labyrinthian in structure, but it also makes pretty good sense once you really kind of understand the structure. It's at this point I realize that I'm having trouble fighting a goddamn rat. Like, what is happening right now? This is just a good reminder of the true dangers of playing Dark Souls. Every monster can take you out, you know, given the opportunity. Never let your guard down. Now, if you pay close attention, you'll notice there's kind of a cascading water area here, and that's actually a hole that you can fall down. And without putting too fine a point on it, you really don't want to fall down there unless you're ready for it. So we're going to be doing the oft-used jump. That's twice now we've used that to evade that dangerous trap. Now down around this corner is a fog door, but don't worry, we'll be skipping it for now, but basically we'll be coming back around to it relatively shortly. Rats on their own aren't particularly dangerous, but when you get a group of them like that and you don't have a lot of poison resistance, you can very easily be poisoned. Also, watch out for this box, because there's a rat in it. He would just love to poison you. Now, that guy hit me twice and fully filled my poison gauge, and now I'm poisoned, and that's not great. I don't have very much health. And the game gives me a great axe. Thanks, game. Now, I remember killing some Ents in the Darkmoon Forest. I was hoping that they dropped a poison-reducing item for me. But, of course, all I have are ones that, please let there be something in here. And all I have are ones that reduce bleeding. So, we're going to have to power through the poison. And at this point, I'm looking for a disappointed gesture, but there literally isn't even a gesture that I can use to show my disappointment. On the plus side, it's not too bad. Now you'll notice we're in that caged area that we saw from the room with Giant Rat earlier. We're on the top level. There's actually a hole there you can drop down to the bottom part. And this room here is actually the long hallway with all the slimes in it. You can see that basically we've gone a long way around, but we can actually open this door with the key that we got in that room with Giant Rat. And that brings us to a lovely, wonderful, thank goodness it's here, a bonfire. Well, fully rested up and with a little bit more strength, let's continue on. I do love the level design in this area because it seems very confusing and daunting, but it's actually relatively small and easy to navigate once you know what you're doing. Now down here is another door, but spoilers, we can't open it just yet. You hear that lovely sound of rushing water? We will shortly be seeing what that's all about. And at this point I realize, you know what, there's a ton of rats down here, I have 0 poison resist, so let's pick up the black leather armor, which actually boasts a relatively decent poison resist stat. So Uther temporarily dons the attire of a thief in the hopes of resisting the horrible poison of all the rats. On the plus side, we're also actually lighter right now and kind of freeing feeling. notice that the Thief armor set has actually just increased the size of the poison gauge. That's actually how poison resistance works. The higher your resist, the larger the gauge that needs to be filled before you actually get poisoned. And I actually would have been poisoned twice there had I not equipped the Thief's armor set. So, I guess that was a good call. We're going to hop back over this hole and explore the rest of this area down here. And there's a really important step that you need to take care of before you go much further in the level, which is something we're going to take care of really quick right now. Far into this hall, it actually opens up into a large open chamber, inside of which are several medium giant rats. They're not as giant as the giant rats, but God, that's just so disappointing when that happens. Twice. Anyhow, yes, there's a group of giant rats here along with a channeler who is what just happened. That was such a lucky random accident. Anyway, like I said, this channeler in here has buffed all these giant rats up, which is not great because they're... That guy kind of looks like he's smiling at you there. Anyway, they're douches, and you don't really want to deal with them. Anyway, much less when they're buffed up. So, this giant open area down there, spoilers, is where we're going to be fighting a boss, and if you don't take care of the channel up here, he'll actually stand up here and cast spells on you the entire time you're trying to take care of the boss. It's a gigantic pain in the ass. Don't let it happen. But this being Dark Souls, of course we're also going to find some really sweet loot back here, really hidden away. Large Titanite shards are basically just an upgraded version of the regular Titanite shard. They're consumed when you are upgrading your equipment in higher numbers, like 5 and 6. And this fog door right here is actually the same fog door that we saw from the other side, that long tunnel hallway. One more hop over this guy. Seriously, at this point you gotta really have mastered jump or you're gonna fall down there, which isn't a terrible thing, but it's not great. Down this way, I'm just showing you there's really nothing down there except a slime, so we'll just leave him alone. There's also an extremely difficult to jump over hole in the ground. And I'm just gonna bring this rat with me in case we need him. Nope, nope, I guess we're good. Alright then, at this point, there's only one thing you can do. Loves me the mandatory sewer level of sewer jump extravaganzas. Yum. Alright then, you see that froggy-eyed dude over there? He is a douche. We don't want to deal with this guy even a little bit. He will create clouds of curse that will curse you. Curse is as bad as it sounds. It basically drops your health point total by half, as in your permanent health is reduced by half until you recover from the curse. It is extremely difficult to deal with, mainly because not only does it lower your health point pool by half, but it's not even healed when you go to a bonfire. Unlike poison and toxin, it stays there until you get the curse lifted. It's horrible, and I don't want to deal with it. Ever. So there is actually an area back there that is worth exploring. There's a couple items and stuff, but it's also absolutely stocked with basilisks, those little cursing froggy dudes. because I really don't want to get cursed right now, I'm just going to ignore that area. We don't really need to clear it to finish the level, and there's not really any loot of particular value. I will go back and clear it out later, but for now I just want to continue moving forward. Before we fully explore this large empty hall, let's head up this set of stairs and see what we have waiting for us. Yep, this takes us back to that little caged room, which is conveniently very close to the bonfire. Seriously, the level design in this game, seriously, so cool. Then let's hop back into our paladin outfit now that we're no longer going to be dealing with a whole bunch of rats, and go see what's in that large open chamber. Slimes are particularly vulnerable to fire, so I thought I'd try out these fire bombs and see if, yeah, that makes it a lot better. Of course, it would help if my player didn't throw like a tiny, tiny child. Let's see what's beyond this gate here and talk to this fine fellow.
Aye, shall I? And good day to you. I'm Donald of Xena. I'm just a peddler of sort. I adore trinkets and oddities, so I trade for them. I'm afraid I don't see anything here.
Domhnall is an interesting vendor. He sells quite a few good items, including gold pine resin, a few crystal items. Crystal items being that they have a very low durability and cannot be repaired, but they have a much higher damage ratio. He also sells a variety of ranged weapons and a unique set of armor that is the same set that he is currently wearing. It's kind of an interesting set of armor. It's medium weight with some pretty decent stats, but I've never brought myself to drop the 47,000 souls to pick it up.
But no matter. No, not to worry. Come back again. I'm always available. Not every trade was meant to be. There'll be more in store for us. Someday. Sometime.
Unlike other vendors in the game, his stock actually improves and changes over time, so that's kind of cool. And we'll be coming back to these giant, totally cool looking doors a little bit later. This is an important point. The fact that rats drop humanity is really interesting to me. Not only do they drop humanity, they're actually the best way to farm humanity in the game, in that they have the highest drop rate out of any creatures that you can fight in Dark Souls. I don't know if this is some sort of commentary, or if they just thought, hey, you know, let's make killing rats worth it. Seems as if we're overlooking this giant open room again. Now, I was fairly certain there was something over here in this area, and I'm just not seeing it. Totally thought there was an item down here. Huh. Just kidding, guys. It's actually down one more floor. The heavy crossbow and heavy bolt. Now, I've never actually used these items in my other playthroughs of Dark Souls, but hi, Uther. Hey, how you doing? I'm actually going to give him a shot because we're not playing a dexterity-based character, and crossbows are basically range weapons for non-dexterity-based characters. So then, let's see what's in here. I really love that video. So, the Gaping Dragon is an interesting boss, and considered by many players, from what I've read, to be one of the easiest bosses in the game, simply because he's slow, kind of stupid, and not particularly powerful. I have a long, sad history with the Gaping Dragon. Sometimes I think that he's one of the more difficult encounters in the game, or at least you would think he was, considering how many times I die against him. However, I'm feeling pretty good about this, and Lightning Spear is treating me well, so let's see what we can do. The Gaping Dragon has a large number of very wide AoE attacks. He sweeps with his arms, he has an enormous tail swipe, and that particularly dangerous ground stomp that can hit you multiple times in a row. What you generally want to do is not get hit by that, first of all. Basically let him follow you around, kind of do his sweeping attacks, generally be obnoxious, and sort of wait and bide your time until he does his... where'd he go? Oh. Seriously, can't believe I died to just a flying butt stomp. Alright then, let's head back to the Gaping Dragon. Okay then, let's try this again. Now, like I was saying before, what you basically want to do is kind of kite him around, and then get him to not smack you in the ass. Here's what you want him to do. And except for the part where he hits you. Basically, he jumps down, exposing his clearly weak point, tiny little crocodile face. And every time afterwards, he always runs forward and then kind of stops and hangs out for a little bit. This is your opportunity to really get stabinating on him. After a while, he of course recovers, and you throw your lightning spear into the ground because fuck lightning spear. If you're lucky, he continues to do it multiple times. You can maybe even hit him in the face with a lightning spear, which is awesome. Don't do what I just did. Just stay in front of him too long, because then he'll run over you, and you'll feel like an idiot. Also, I'm gonna desperately try to show off the fact that you can hack off his tail to get a cool item, but it turns out I'm really bad at hitting him with my sword, and yeah, it just, God, it just does not look good. getting robbed a little on hitbox here, but that's besides the point, I suppose. And then, you know... Okay, seriously, fuck the gaping dragon. I hate this fucking guy. Onward! Okay, so I'm thinking that one of the reasons that I'm having a lot of trouble here is that I just have no mobility. So we're dropping down the thief set so that I have under 25% encumbrance, so that I'll be a little bit faster. And hopefully that's successful for me. I think one of the pitfalls that I fall into with the Gaping Dragon is simply that he has an enormous health pool compared to some of the bosses that we fought before. And I get in a hurry. I want to do a bunch of damage as quickly as possible, and so I do stupid stuff instead of just taking my time and, you know, listening to my own advice that I've been preaching to you guys forever. So, at any rate, this is already going a little bit better. We haven't been hit yet, although he seems to be pretty pissed at me. And, you know, as much fun as I'm... Oh my... Stop smacking me with your tail. And of course, Lightning Spear is actually doing a pretty significant amount of damage, but we only have a limited number of castings, and I'm still for some reason pursuing that stupid drop, even though it's something I can't even use. That was just embarrassing. But I'm just going to keep right on, you know. Now the Gaping Dragon does have one more attack that we haven't seen yet besides all of his AoEs, and that's like a super mega AoE. Hopefully we'll get him to do that. Oh, that was just unfortunate. So, you know, now we're out of Lightning Spears, but we've got him pretty much taken care of. We just gotta slowly stab away with my sword and, you know, don't do anything stupid. Ah, here we go. Here's that AoE I was talking about. This is his mega super puke attack, and it just fills the room with horribleness. And if you were hoping there was some way to make this fight more dangerous or difficult, having your key weapon break is a really good way to get that difficulty. It is right now that I'm realizing I've never repaired my sword even once. So yeah, anyway, when your weapon breaks, it stops doing respectable damage, and is basically just really bad. It's not a good situation to be in, and you shouldn't let it happen to yourself. Which is what I'm demonstrating here. This was on purpose. So I'm basically taking this opportunity to very quickly equip a different weapon, because the Astora Straight Sword is just not working for me at this point. But even in the face of my weapon breaking, I'm still trying to get that damn thing to drop. And because every movie needs a slow motion running away from explosion scene, anyway, let's take care of this fucking asshole, because I'm just Sick of him being alive. And with that, one of my visually favorite but most annoying to deal with bosses in the game has been taken care of. Don't worry guys, there are worse bosses, and I'll be complaining a lot more about them later, but for now, we're done with that dude. Over here we get the hard leather set, which is one of the other starting equipment sets that you can get in the game. And that's pretty much all of the loot we get for taking care of this boss, other than the enormous amount of souls and the key to Blighttown. So let's head back to that big ominous looking door. And with that lovely color shift to just evil black-green and a gaze into the depths beneath towards Blighttown. Let's, oh, fucking slime. Well, good. I wanted to end on a really exciting note, so there it is. We've defeated that horrible slime, and we're now ready to, yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. As always, it's been a pleasure playing for you, and we'll see you next time on Let's Play Dark Souls.